I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat. Krista, Melinda, Diane, Archie's mom, Lilac Lime. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Jane. All my friends here. Hi, Barbara. Wait. Jason Ledford. How cool is this? All right. You guys know I use StreamYard. I can't see the likes. So if you could, hit the like. Barbara. You guys are awesome. All right, now you know the deal. If I scroll back up to see who's here, I'm gonna get the chat will fly by, and then I lose the comments. So do me a favor, if you're here, speak up so I can say hi to you. All right, so it was a great day today. And you know what's great about today's video? Hi, David Bully, Silver Surfer. Hello, Michelle. We went to the recovery center today, so this is gonna be a very happy, upbeat, positive video. I'm sure you guys can appreciate that. We will be doing a. Hi, Kelly Chaos. Good to see you. We will be doing a 1 hot minute in the next day or so. Hi, Josh Cohen and the Cohen family. Hello, Arwa. And Michelle is right beside me. Look at that. That's a good dude right there. I want to say one of the good ones. There's a whole bunch of good ones right here. Hi, Susie. Good to see you. I'm going to wait a few moments and let people join the chat. Cool water. Hi, Dale Cox. Listen to a few of those songs, dude. Jeremy Fowler on the Love Train. I don't know if you guys know this. We used to call it the bus. Want to know something really funny? I said this recently. I used to call it a family. Like you're part of the family. And I used to get these comments like I'm a cult leader. What do people think? Pepperhead, good to see you. So I decided we'll go with the bus. And that was from, there's Lisa Trimble. Look at that. And there's Mike Bragg. I started going with a bus. It was a Jerry Garcia reference. At a concert, he said, I'm just the driver. It's your bus. So I kind of adopted that for a while. But we're kind of taking a new direction here. Look at this. All the nicest and smartest people get on the train. You know, I want to show you guys something. Before we get into this, it's an interesting thing. I'll wait till later to show you. I got some stats to show you. Look at this. I love this. This is a great comment because this tells me who I need to say hi to. Jane, Sandy, Wendy, Diane, Jason, Archie's mom, Silver Surfer, Josh, Barbara Waite, Susie, Arwa, Jeremy, Dale, Pepperhead, Lisa T, and Amy. I love when they do that. It helps me get caught up. You know who's not in the chat right now? You know who's not in the chat right now? Tommy Scoville. Josh Cohen says, I'm over ignorant comments and ignorant people. Sorry how to say that. You know what? It's really funny. There's a time for everything. And this is the time to speak the truth. Today, I was at the recovery center speaking the truth. Johnny, hey, man, good to see you. Hope all is well in Ecuador. It is good. Thank you for being here and saying that. It's fantastic, actually. So I had a good time at the recovery center today. If you didn't see it, I did a short today. I did a bunch of them, like 10 of them or so, but one of them was spectacular. This is a good comment. I want to read this. Check this out. Archie's mom, doing great after a long 23 years being totally clean for 11 weeks is something I thought I would never achieve. Keep it up. Keep it up because it's worth it. Mean it. Murphy, I'm glad you're here. So I went to the recovery center today. It's interesting because I know, to be really honest, I know names of 3 people. That's it. There's like 35 guys there, all in recovery. And I know the names of 3. And I said that when I did the talk today, and I kind of, I said, I don't know your names, but I know your faces. And I know your heart, and I know your mind, and I know your struggle. Primarily because I had that struggle. It was a great day today. Josh, apologize. I'm over ignorant comments, ignorant people, and I'm not sorry. Good. I thought you were going to apologize. No, listen, I had a person, before I get into talk about the recovery center, I got an email from somebody that said, the Christian way is to turn the other cheek. Well, I think the reason our country is in the state that it's in is we've been turning the other cheek for a long, long time. And not to make it always about Charlie, but when he was martyred and he was murdered, I think a lot of people said, you know what? Not turning the other cheek anymore. This is really the truth. You know what happened? And I said this before. I'm sorry. You know what? Repetition creates retention. I say something once, forget about it. You hear it a bunch, can change things. When the whole world was keeping their mouth shut because we were scared, and I was guilty of it. I'm not talking about you guys. I kept my mouth shut because I didn't want to rock the boat. Hey, can we hit that AC, Tommy Scoville?
Yeah.
Hot as a crotch in this place. You know, this is a weird place. I can't get the temperature right. It's either freezing or it feels like an oven, one or the other. Anyway, when so many people, me first, I kept my mouth shut, and we didn't, and here's what happens when the whole world keeps their mouth shut, but Charlie's the only one with the guts enough to talk and tell the truth. Then what it gives the opinion that, hey, he's a lunatic, that guy's crazy. Then he was killed, and guess what? A lot of people said, nah, we're done. I can't keep my mouth shut anymore. And then what's happening is people are realizing that, holy mackerel, there's a lot of people that think that way. JW, good to see you. How did you get sober? One day at a time, brother or sister. I'm not sure. JW, I got a feeling that JW is a guy thing. I don't know. I've said this before. David Boy, I'm glad you're here. We're doing great. Thank you for asking. In my life, I've been, I've abused everything. Long time ago, I remember I was talking to Tommy, and he said to me, and we were both using it at the time, kind of funny, but he said, when people quit doing drugs? I said, when? He said, when they've done enough. And I got to a place in my life where I had done enough. That's it. I have this app on my phone, sobriety app. Where is it? There it is. And in the sobriety, when you first fill it out, they tell you, you write down. It's an interesting thing. They tell you, you say, Gauthi, good to see you. Wes Lightburn, good to see you. It says, how much do you use? What's the deal? I've saved, you ready for this? In 2,000 something days. How many? 2,367 days. You want to know how much money I've saved? You guys want to know? $18,936 I've saved. But it said you need to state your reason why you want to stop. So JW, this was my reason. I said I deserve to be my best. I don't like me when I use drugs. My family, my friends, and I deserve better. I've grown weary of hating myself in the mirror. Try shaving in the dark. When you start shaving in the dark, it's time to quit. So I decided to quit. And the first thing I did was I called my children. Fun phone call. Hi, Barella. Good to see you. Fish. This is Barella. It's his wife's account. Never asked you, how come? Why are you using your wife's account? Just kidding. But I burned my bridges. You know what that means? Burn your bridges? Called my kids. Said, your dad's a drug addict. That was a fun phone call. Then I talked to my mom and my dad and told them. That was me burning. I ran a marathon a long time ago, but when I was starting to train for it, I told everybody I was going to run a marathon. And the reason I did that, I knew if I told everybody, there's no way I could turn around and not do it. That's how I approached my sobriety. I told everybody. Not until the channel, until it was a year. And that's it. But that's the anyway. Let me get back to the. Thank you all for being here. Hit the like, please. This is not going to be a super long live stream. Been accused of being an angry man as of late. Isn't that crazy? You guys think I'm an angry guy? I think it's righteous indignation is how I see it. But when we do a 1 hot minute, there's no anger there, right? Nothing but fun and happy and laughter. Hi there, Brock Bendy. Good to see you. Look at that. Barella says, here's Katie Purry getting in the basket. If she lays down, we'll end this thing with a cat in a basket. Thought I'd change things up for a minute. Sometimes change is good. Change is very good. Change is uncomfortable, though. You know that? So I don't think I'm angry. I think it's righteous indignation. That's kind of how I view it. At any rate, today I was at the recovery center, and I'm not going to tell you everything I said to them because you guys don't need to hear that. Barbara, one man's anger is another man's passion. Well, I'll tell you what. You can call me angry if you want, but I'm passionate. Pepperhead says, you're a good fella, Johnny. Thank you for saying that. So the basis of my talk today with these guys, I want to share with you what happened. 2 weeks ago, after one of the Bible studies, they said, do you have any questions? You got to understand that when they do a Bible study, every one of these guys is super engaged. They got their homework done. Got a lung thing going on. But at the end, they said, "Did anyone have any questions?" And some guy put his hand up. One of the men, I don't know his name, and he said, "Why is it easy when I'm here, but when I go out there, meaning outside the walls, the gate of the recovery center, why is it difficult?" And that was what I really thought about it. And that's kind of what I talked about today. And I think, I'm not going to make this a church session, but as believers, even if you're somebody who's trying to be positive, forget believers. If you're just trying to be a positive person, you have a whole bunch of people that are really positive. Like imagine like a bed of coals, right? You take one of those coals, think of the Kingsford Edge, and you put it off by itself. It's cold really quick. In 5 minutes, you can pick it up and hand it to a kid. It's not going to burn anybody, right? But if you take that coal and you stick it back in the bed of coals, just like that, it's red hot again. And that's, if you're a positive person, here's the thing. You know what I told the guys? Like, I have in every computer is an operating system. And there's only 33 of us here. 33 right ones. There's an operating system in your dome piece. Whatever you hear and the frequency that you hear it, whatever you see and hear and the frequency that you see and hear it will determine your marching orders. And that is it. So it's really important to surround yourself with people that are not going to drag you down. People are either in life, people are going to lift you up or they're going to drag you down. And if they drag you down, get away from them. Don't battle with them. Don't argue with them. They're not good for you. And sometimes you can get unconscious and you kind of go through the motions. You're on autopilot. Your switch is down and you're on autopilot. You aren't engaged. And you find yourself going, what am I doing? And you realize that you've been surrounding yourself with people that are not lifting you up. So if you're around people that are not lifting you up, get away. I'm being really serious about that. I give off a very positive vibe, unless you send me a nasty email, David Booley, and then maybe that vibe isn't so positive. You're one of the good guys. I have deep respect for you, what you do and promote. Good luck, Johnny. All the best. JW, thank you so much. I appreciate you asking. And you asked about sobriety. If anybody's having any issues, please email me. I get a ton of emails, a lot, like every day. And I kind of triage these things. If somebody says sobriety, I kind of deal with that first. Spirituality, faith, then I just get a lot of emails. So, and I can't, it's hard to get to everyone, but email me if you're having any trouble. And I'll do what I can to help you. Booley says I would never send you a negative email. Thank you, David. You're a good guy. Excuse me. There's my email. So that's what the talk was today. That's essentially what the talk was. I told them? These guys, they know Tommy and I are brothers. We look like twins. And the older we get, the more like twins we look. True story. So I told them, they didn't know how much older. And I told them on my fourth birthday, if you don't know this, but on my fourth birthday, my mother and father came home from the hospital with Tommy. And she told me that was my birthday present. You can imagine my dismay. I was not a happy camper. I wanted a fire truck, apparently. I sort of remember the time. I remember I had an uncle and my aunt stayed with us. And so I remember that. And I sort of remember him coming home. But, and if I had been a good brother, right? If I had been a good example, a lot of things that happened in Tommy's life would not have happened in Tommy's life. And I feel that. I do. Every time I did something with him that was the wrong thing, that was me co-signing, saying, it's okay. I'm doing it with you. And that's a bad thing. And I said to these guys, I'm just like you are. I've just been doing the straight thing longer than you guys have. And I said, the reason I'm telling you, I care about my brother. I need to be a good example. I said, you guys are all my brothers. Look to the guy left you. Every one of your brothers, we all have the same father. And they got it. So, and that's kind of what the whole topic of today's conversation was. And it was good. I enjoyed it. It's funny, if you've done any public speaking, I've done a bunch of it, not as much as Tommy, but I've done a lot of it. If you're standing in front of a group of people, you can look at them. You can look at their eyes and go, got it. Not getting it. Got it. You can tell who's engaged, who's with you, and who's not. It's really simple. I see like a positive side over their head, like a video game, or a negative side. And they're engaged or they're not. Every guy there today had the positive sign over their head. They were all engaged. Fowler asks, has the guitar seen the daylight in South America yet? No, Pepper Gardner, good to see you. No, it has not yet. But you know what? In the last couple of days, it's coming. It's coming. I need to play again. It's funny, when I was in America, I was playing 3 or 4 hours a day. I'm not exaggerating in the slightest. I played all the time. And that was my escape. That's what drugs and alcohol are, is escapism. You hide from things because you don't like dealing with things. That's what I did. That's what I used the guitar for. I'm not escaping anything. I'm in a really good place. I am. And they're really, really good. I don't mean like Ecuador, but that is a really good place. But in here and in here, my heart, I'm in a really good place right now. So it's not a case of escapism as it was in the past. So now I'm like, I need to start playing again. You know what I did when I came here? I bought enough strings with me to last a lifetime. I will never run out of guitar strings, which is pretty cool because I use special guitar strings for the guitar I have. So that is a good thing. Anyway, it was the whole day was really good. It was very, very positive at the end. There weren't a whole lot of questions. David, and this is a really important thing. There are so many people that are helping. If you've contributed to the cause, thank you so much. David, who runs the center, is a spectacular human being. By the way, Tommy Scola, we thought he was 17 years sober. Wrong. He's 23 years sober. That's crazy. I'm so proud of him. He's such a great guy. I don't know if he'd be offended by this, but he's like the Mother Teresa of this place. I did a short today where I kind of focused in on the sign at the front door. $750 a month to be at that center. Do you have any idea how many guys are actually paying that? There's the PayPal. If you want to donate directly, that is directly to the recovery center. Doesn't go to me. Not a dime goes to me. And nobody does. You know what? Nobody's getting paid to be out there. David makes it work. David makes it work. These guys are eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're eating rice. Probably have beans with it, but that's what they eat. So they're always really fired up. I always in every speech like, hey, who's hungry? And they all jump and they're all really excited. But, David makes it work in an almost impossible circumstances. So if you're able to help, please do. Now, for those that are just praying, it's not a case of just praying. I tell you what, prayer, I've seen prayer work in ways that's just phenomenal. Fowler says, heck yeah, express yourself instead of hiding yourself. Play that bad boy loud and proud. You know what I haven't done yet? I haven't irritated anybody here with loud guitar from the balcony. Probably ought to do that. You know the problem with that is? I was playing like 3 or 4 hours a day, like every day. Sometimes I played 5 or 6. It was just nuts how much I was playing. When you stop playing, it's like a language. You quit speaking a language, you lose it. So I need to get my chops back. And I'm going to. But please, if you're somebody who's praying for these guys, please keep doing that. This is the truth. Every time we've been there a bunch, we go every week. And it's a really beautiful thing. And almost every time we're there, we say to them, there are people around the world. There are people in different countries. Aaron DeJourn is from Australia. I don't know where everybody's from, but there are people in different countries all over the world. Arwa's here from the UK. You know what I mean? So when we say to them, there are people all over the world praying for you. You should see how floored these guys are. I mean, they're like, it's shocking to them that somebody in a different country that's never going to meet them, never going to talk to them, is going to say, they're praying for them. It blows them away. And that's a beautiful thing. These guys, it's a beautiful thing. It's interesting. I said to them at the end of this, I said, every one of you is going to walk out of here one day. It's not like you all walk out at the same time. It's not like a release date. You're going to go sporadically when you're ready. You know what I mean? And when you leave, because right now they're in a recovery center where there are no drugs, and everybody's talking about God and praying and studying the Bible, singing songs. So that's it. The minute they walk out, they're the piece of coal that's leaving the hotbed. So I told them, you need to find other people like you, because your operating system is whatever you hear and see, and the frequency you hear and see it is going to determine your marching order. So when somebody gets sober, you got to change people, places, and things. You got to change what you do. You got to change how you think. You got to change the people you hang with and the places you go. Because if you don't, nobody's strong enough to keep that going. You just aren't. And that was the message today. Susie just made my monthly donation. God bless you for that. Here's the beautiful thing about that. Renee B, I'm glad you're here. Let me read this before I go any further because this is really cool. I'm in such a strange place right now after 20-something years as a hardcore addict, being clean for the first time in my adult life. Some days are hard. You know what's interesting? When somebody gets sober, it's kind of like somebody who's not a believer who becomes a believer. Just because, and I think the fallacy is that some people think when they get sober, smooth sailing. Wrong. Or they say, if I'm a believer now, everything should be easier. Wrong. It's not how it works. In fact, the struggles are phenomenal with sobriety and with being a believer. It is, but both of them are worth it. So stay strong. I'm proud of you. You know, it's worth it. You got what I was saying. What was I saying was the first time we went out. It was the first time. It was the first time we were talking at the end, and he said, "We need." He wasn't saying, "Can you give me money, you guys?" He wasn't. We were listening. He was talking to Gary, and Gary said, "I listened to him talk." He said they need $40 to finish the PVC piping for their plumbing. I'm like, $40. I reached in my pocket and pulled out a 20. So did Tommy. There you go. The next time I went back, it was all done. I mean, covered with dirt. It was finished. I was like, that was fast. The money goes a long way here. It really does. Every time you guys give something, like I've given to charities in the past, and a good one, 70% goes towards the cause, 30% goes toward administration and all the other crap. Every single penny you give, it's like a prayer. No one's stealing a prayer for you. That goes right to the cause, and God listens to it. But when you're able to give and help, honest to goodness, it happens like that. We're still working. Here's the one thing. There's manana time. We talk about that sometimes. Hang on a second. Figure where your triggers are and avoid to get sober. Yeah, it's true. And also you got to, like Tommy says something great. If you were doing it when you were using, stop. And start. If you weren't doing it, you better start, like making your bed. I've heard so many people, so many motivational speakers talk and say, make your bed when you get up. It's an important thing. I make my bed. Fowler says, I love that story. It's not something you see in this country often anymore. Praying that people become kinder by the day. Prayer works. You know what? Here's the thing. It's really easy to see the negative and go, boy, we're in a bad way. Be positive. I was listening to Tom and I were talking. We heard a guy. I think it was Vietnam. There was a guy was commanding a group of men, and they were surrounded. No, excuse me, it was World War II. They were surrounded by the enemy. It was looking grim, and the troop leader came up and said to the general, "Hey, listen, we got bad news. We are surrounded by the enemy." And he sat there for a second. He went, "Those poor bastards. You got to have the attitude that you're going to win this thing." The world's like, look, the world is burning right now. And it's a very strange thing to be in a different country watching your home country on fire. It's strange. You look at Portland, like I was reading yesterday, the rioters in Portland, lunatic rioters, fringe left wackos are rioting. And the police, you know what they did? They stood down. It's easy to see that kind of crap. Or like I'm in South America. Yesterday they were about to strike Venezuela. That's not my country, but it certainly is my continent. Pick your continent, pick your country. Everywhere this is happening. So it's very easy to go, oh my God, this is bad. Have faith. Have faith. Mike Bragg, Johnny, the Bell's palsy you were talking about last night is a virus. I believe you. Scouts and Proud, good to see you. You know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to do it right now. Hang on tight just for a second. If you're in the chat, I'm about to give away 5 memberships. Train passes. We used to call it a bus pass. It's a train pass now, my friends. So hang on tight. If you're in the chat right now, be looking for it. Here comes 5 memberships. And there you go. I just gave away. Hi, Tassie Dalt from Down Under. Good to see you. Blitz. Good to see you. Look at this. Lilac Lime. I had a prayer answer today when my hospital system changed their minds on outsourcing our accounts receivable jobs. How cool is that? I didn't know about it. You need to let me know. I'll pray for you. Look at this. I pray for Blitz Splits every day. Look at that. I just gave away 5 Chase the Heat memberships. All right. So if you're a recipient of a train pass, there are. Did somebody with a wrench tell me? I don't know. You don't need to tell me. There are a lot of videos on the bus pass section, not the bus pass anymore, the train pass, that a lot of you have never seen because I've never put them on the main channel. A lot of them. There are challenges. There are aftermath videos. I don't do aftermath videos. I don't. And you know what? Can I be really honest about it? Let me tell you why. Because it made me look weak. So when I was dying, rolling around the floor, like with 911 queued up on my phone, I didn't want to show you guys that. I didn't. Well, there were a few on that one, so you can have a look at it. There is the bus path. I'm going to stop saying bus. I've been saying it for a lot of years. Thank you, Krista Melinda. Anyway, please do me a favor. Since you have a bus pass, it's $4.99. If anybody, thank you so much. You have no idea how much that helps. Since we changed the focus of the message, Just Joan, good to see you. Welcome to Green Train Riders. If you're, I kind of changed the message. I'm talking about my faith a lot more. I'm talking about, talking about a lot of things I never used to talk about. YouTube doesn't like that. Let me show you something interesting. I'm going to kind of wrap it up. I'm like financially, it's not doing so good. YouTube doesn't push positive content. You don't see really positive feel-good stories. There are no newspapers anymore. But back in the day when there were newspapers, how often did you see a really positive, feel-good story on the front page of a newspaper? Never, because that doesn't sell. So they're always horrific, terrible stories. It's like, oh my God, look at that. Tom and I were talking yesterday. The first ever cover of a magazine he ever remembers seeing was the Jonestown Massacre, which was a suicide. It wasn't a suicide, but he killed most of them. Not a lot of them he did. He remembered that, stuck with him forever. That's what sells is, crazy stuff like that. So when I changed my content to something positive, YouTube's like, well, get rid of that guy. He used to make himself hurt. He was, he used to kill himself in front of people. He was good then. So my numbers are doing that. But I want to show you some positive things. Rick Spicer, I'm glad you're here. Make sure I'm caught up here. Let me show you something positive. While there are things like we've lost 60,000 plus subscribers in the last 7 months. Now, the great news is, let me show you this. This is the last 30 days, all right? 28 days, pardon me. We've had 102.7 thousand viewers, all right? Look at that, though. New viewers, 69,300 new viewers. So while there are people that are saying, oh, this isn't what I signed up for, there are a ton of people that are saying, man, this is what I want to sign up for. Pretty cool, right? There's positive things happening, and I appreciate everybody who's a part of this because you are a part of this. Don't kid yourself. Do you know here's something funny? Even the people that hate me, they're a part of this because they can't stop watching. They can't. They're the biggest fans. In my room, I got a silver play button plaque. They've only given away 400,000 of them. There are 70 million channels, and only 400,000 of them have ever got that plaque. They're part of the reason. You can't stop watching. But you guys are wonderful. I appreciate you. Let me show you another thing really cool here. This was last month. We did 388,900 views, which is 5,900 more than normal. So I want to thank you all for supporting this little channel. It means the world to me. You guys are great, and I appreciate you. It's even more important now. Pray, and love. All right. I know that I'm a guy who's been kind of cranky lately. I'm not gonna sit around and I'm telling the truth whether it bums you out or not. Audra, I'm so glad you're here. I do have to tell you, I'm about to wrap this up. It's funny. Jason Ledford says you're living rent free in your trolls' minds. You know what's funny about that? It's a palatial estate with flowing pastures and horses running around and brooks and ponds. It's a big estate. And I feel, can I tell you something about the people those people? I don't like saying the word troll, because they think when I say the word troll, they hear their name. Weak-minded people. I feel bad for them. And I don't do this always. I pray for them by name, some of them, the ones I know. I do. I feel horrible for them. Number one, they have soul rot. You know what I mean? They have soul rot. And I can't, I have somebody that when I go to bed, I think about. When I wake up, I think about. It's a beautiful thing. But it's somebody I love. Imagine having somebody that you hate, and it's the first thing you think about when you get up. It's the last thing you think about when you go to bed, and you make videos every single week. It's a horrible thing. Pray for them. Look at this. Pepperhead says, Jesus is my savior. Me too. You know what I did today? You want to hear something stupid? I had such a good time. This is true. I had such a good time today at the recovery center. I left my Bible there. We were 20 feet away. That's not true. Probably 5 kilometers out. See, because I'm in Ecuador now, so I don't say miles. We're about 5 kilometers out. And I was like, oh, I left my Bible there. So I messaged David and said, dude, my Bible's on the podium. You grab it? He messaged me back and said, you bet. So one thing I was saying earlier, but I kind of scrolled off. Some things don't work smoothly. It's kind of difficult time to get things done. So we're in the have some Jane Aldrich has been very helpful, and she's helped me create tracking for people's gifts, that people that donate stuff, so that you'll get an email saying thank you for your donation. Here's what you've given. And in a perfect world, they'll say this is what your donation did. That would be so cool, because I've had a chance to walk there and see what my donation has done. It's been spectacular. So hopefully we're doing that, but it's not something we threw together. For instance, let me tell you this: how long did it take us for them to get a PayPal? Long time. Things don't happen. You know, I kind of use this analogy. It's like when you're in a boat, you turn the wheel of a boat, the boat goes like this. It takes a while for that boat to register and move. When you're in a Lamborghini and you turn the wheel, that thing takes off. We're in a big boat, a big boat. And it takes a while for things to be implemented. That said, fear not, they will be. All right. So we will be getting things done. I'm going to wrap it up now. I love you guys. I appreciate you all being here. Audra, I'm sorry I'm wrapping up now just when you first got here. Oh, Styling One. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. You know what we're going to do before I leave? Do you guys want to see a cat in the basket? I was going to pick the basket up and kind of pick it up and show you guys, but she's so cute. And she's really happy right now. I don't want to bum her out. But look at that. That is a cat. Katy Perry. No, I don't want to wake her up. But that, and now she picks her up. Hi, Katie. That's a cat in the basket. She's a sweet animal. All right, you guys, I appreciate you. Here's what I'd like you to know about before we get rolling. In the description box of this video is the PayPal account for the Recovery Center. If you're able to give, you have no idea how much I appreciate that, how much David appreciates that, and how this affects lives. I've said this a bunch of times, and repetition creates retention. You know, in the Bible, part of that, the Red Sea, it's a miracle. Raising the dead, making the blind see. I swear to you, every sober person is just every bit as much of a miracle as those examples. I mean that. So when you're able to donate, you're being a part of a legit miracle. Above that, if you pray for these guys, it has real world effects. Does PayPal charge much? I don't know. I know this. If you guys, like, somebody gives me a super chat, YouTube takes 30% of it. I don't think PayPal does. I will look into it because I don't want to give you a lame answer, because I don't really have the answer you're looking for, Audra, but I'll find out and I'll let you know in the next live stream. But if you can't give, let me tell you something. Pray is just as important. It is. So please pray. It means the world. Prayer works. All right, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up now. You know what? If anybody has, I'd rather give you smarter money. I get it. You know, in a perfect world, I just hand David money. Did today. So that's kind of the smartest money. But if anybody has any last questions before I bounce, here we go. If you use a credit card on PayPal, there is a fee to the giver. It is small. Do you happen to know how is it? I'm assuming it's a percentage, or is it a flat fee, Christian? Do you happen? I don't mean to give you work during the middle of a live stream. She's a great mod. She can handle it. Oh, look at this. If you use a debit card, there is no fee. So there you go. There you go. So, but I appreciate you guys so much, and what you're doing really, really matters. Question: does Tommy have Bell's palsy, like my brother Tommy? No, sir. He does not. It's a $5 fee if you use a credit card. There you have it. So, but if you use a debit card, there is no fee. Here's another way to think about it. If you have to use a credit card, if you normally give to a charity, they're going to take 30% right off the bat, and it's going to pay the lights, it's going to pay administration and everything else. So if you give with a credit card to the PayPal to the recovery center, no 30%. They're not taking 30%. They're not taking $1. That's it. So if you're able to give, even if they're taking, even if there's a bit of a fee, it's a lot smaller than the 30% that normally would go. Or in some cases, it would be small. Who knows? But help when you can. If you can't help financially, it's okay. I'm not trying to, hammer you guys for money. I'm not. I mean, none of this goes to me. I don't have like a commission fee. We're helping. We're volunteers. We want to help because, hey, you're dreaming. So, hey, it's okay. A bad dream. Prayer is the most important thing. Prayer is huge. It really is. So if you guys can pray, I don't know how he does it, but he hears them all. He sorts that out somehow. God is good. Look at this. Jason Leffer says, I think if you mark it as a gift, it doesn't charge a fee. There you have it. All right, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys being here for me, listening to me yap. Pray. It makes huge difference. And those guys at the Recovery Center, if you knew how much that matters to them, it's huge. But thank you for your love and your support. Be back tomorrow. I'm going to be pissed off. I got a lot of stuff to tell you about. I got an email. Yeah, you're not going to believe. I want to be positive in this one. And we'll have a one hot minute, not tomorrow, probably the next day. I love you guys. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this was The Love Train. Chase the heat. Be kind. And put some steel into your spine. You're welcome for the membership, Tassie Dalton. Do me a favor, you guys. If you just got a train pass, use it. Go to the section and watch some crazy videos. See you guys tomorrow.